Everyone in the galaxy believed humans were weak, except her. The alien princess who married one. Aliens whispered. Why a human? They break easily. But inside him, she felt a silent storm waiting to rise. Everyone in the galaxy believed that humans were weak, small, slow, soft, a species that survived only because other races ignored them. Everyone believed this, except her Princess Leora, heir to the great Vanir Empire. And now she was forced to marry one. The marriage was not for love, it was for peace. For more than 200 years, the Vanir Empire fought endless wars. Cities burned. Worlds died. The people were tired, the soldiers broken, and the empire was falling apart from inside. So Leora agreed to something no princess had ever done. A political marriage with a human soldier from Earth. His name was Captain Elias Ward. When he walked into the palace for the first time, every alien in the hall stared at him. Some with curiosity, some with fear, most with disbelief. Why a human? They whispered behind Leora's back. Humans break easily. They are emotional and fragile. They should be servants, not royal partners. Leora pretended not to hear them. She kept her chin high and her steps calm. But inside, she was unsure. She looked at Elias from a distance. He stood tall but simple. No fancy armor, no glowing eyes, no alien strength. He had a quiet face, a calm expression, and a soft voice when he spoke. He did not look like a warrior. He did not look like a hero. He looked normal. Too normal, Leora thought. Yet something about him felt different. Not in his body. Not in his face. Something in his silence. Like a storm sleeping behind a clear sky. When they stood together for the wedding ceremony, Leora noticed something else. He did not look afraid, not even a little. Every other human she had seen trembled in front of alien royalty. But Elias, he stood like he belonged there. When Leora placed her hand in his, she felt a strange warmth. Steady, strong. A warmth that told her he would never run away from danger. Strange, she thought. Very strange for a human. The ceremony continued with traditional lights and chants. Priests raised crystal staffs. Nobles watched from the golden balconies. And the peace treaty was displayed in the air, a glowing document connecting to worlds. Leora took a slow breath. If this marriage worked, millions of lives would be saved. If it failed, another war would begin. As she turned to face the crowd, she heard whispers again. Humans are weak. Why trust him? This peace will break. Leora ignored them, but she felt a knot tighten in her chest. Then something happened. A small tremor ran through the air. Barely noticeable. Too soft for most species to sense. Achaeus felt it. His eyes sharpened. His muscles tensed. He tilted his head slightly, scanning the hall with quick, tiny movements. Like an animal that sensed a predator. Leora noticed. What is it? She whispered without moving her lips. Elias did not look at her, but his voice was low and steady. Something is wrong. That should have been impossible. The Vanir Palace had the most advanced sensors in the galaxy. If there was danger, the security systems would detect it long before any human could. Yet the alarms stayed silent. Nothing flashed red. Nothing screamed. Only Elias sensed something. Leora felt a chill move across her skin. How did he feel that? She wondered. Humans do not have such senses. Her heart began to beat faster, but she kept her face calm for the crowd. Then the tremor returned. Stronger. Elias stepped a little closer to her. Obviously, he did it slowly, gently, almost politely. But Leora understood. He was shielding her. And now she sensed something too. A strange, hidden signal. Someone was trying to break the truce. Someone wanted this marriage to fail. Elias whispered again, We need to move, not run. Just step aside. But before Leora could respond, the palace lights flickered. Every noble in the hall froze. Another tremor, much harder this time. And then a loud boom echoed from deep inside the palace. The floor shook. Cracks spread across the crystal walls. People screamed. Leora's guards rushed forward, but something happened faster than all of them combined. Elias moved. He didn't think. He didn't wait. He didn't hesitate. He stepped in front of Leora with such speed that many nobles gasped. His body blocked hers completely. His hands spread out, pulling her down slightly behind him. He stood like a shield, like he was born for this moment, like he had been protecting her his whole life. And then a giant explosion tore through the left wing of the palace. Fire, smoke, and broken crystal flew everywhere. Heat hit them like a wave. The walls roared as they collapsed. People ran in panic. Guards shouted orders, and alarms screamed for the first time. But Elias did not move from his place. He stayed in front of Leora, solid and unshaking, as if the explosion meant nothing to him. Leora looked at his back, shocked. This quiet, gentle human. Why did he move faster than her guards? Why did he sense danger before the alarms? Who exactly had she married? Elias turned his head slightly and said only 4 words. "Stay behind me, princess." And for the first time in her life, Leora obeyed without question. The palace was burning. Smoke rolled across the floor like dark fog. Alarms screamed from every corner, and the golden walls of the Vanir Empire shook under the force of the blast. Nobles ran in panic. Guards pushed through crowds trying to reach the princess. And the bright wedding hall turned into chaos within seconds. Yet in the center of this disaster, Elias stood calm. Princess Leora stared at his back, unable to understand what she was seeing. This human, small compared to her tall alien people, stood between her and a collapsing world, like an unbreakable shield. He didn't even flinch when another shockwave hit the hall. "Elias," she whispered, "how did you know the explosion was coming?" He didn't answer. He was watching, listening, calculating something she could not see. His eyes were sharp, focused, alive with something she had never seen in a human before. Not fear, not panic. Instinct. Pure, dangerous instinct. The kind only found in predators. Before she could ask again, a section of the wall burst open and armored assassins poured into the hall. Tall, gray-skinned creatures with glowing blades. Leora recognized them instantly. The Charon Syndicate. The most feared mercenary assassins in the galaxy. They were legends. Deadly, fast, emotionless. Each one worth an entire squad of soldiers. And today, they had one mission. Kill the princess. Kill the human groom. Break the peace treaty. Their leader pointed a long curved weapon at Elias. "Protect the princess," he said in a cold voice. "The human dies first." Leora felt her breath stop. Humans were not built for this. Their bones were soft, their strength limited. Even trained soldiers struggled against Charon warriors. She stepped forward, thinking she should be the one to shield him. But Elias raised his hand, stopping her without even turning around. "Stay back." The way he said it, quiet, steady, but filled with absolute command. It made Leora freeze. The assassins charged. 6 of them, fast as lightning. Guards screamed for backup. Nobles ducked behind broken pillars. But Elias didn't step back. He stepped forward. And what happened next made the entire hall go silent, even through the chaos. Elias moved, not like a human, not like prey. He moved like a storm breaking loose. The first assassin swung his glowing blade. Elias ducked so fast the air cracked, grabbed the attacker by the wrist, twisted, and slammed him into the ground with such force the marble floor shattered. Leora gasped. Even her elite soldiers couldn't do that. The second attacker came from behind. Elias doesn't look, doesn't turn, doesn't hesitate. He kicks backward with perfect timing, hitting the assassin's knee and dropping him screaming to the ground. The third came with a roar, blade aimed at Elias' chest. Elias stepped into the attack, caught the assassin's arm, and drove his elbow into the creature's throat. The assassin collapsed, choking, defeated. The remaining three froze mid-charge. They looked at Elias with something Leora had never seen assassins show. Fear. This is impossible, one whispered. Leora stared at Elias with wide eyes. He's a human, she muttered. Humans can't do this, but he could, and he did. As the assassins hesitated, Elias spoke calm, almost gentle. You chose the wrong day to attack. Then he moved again, a blur of speed. He wasn't faster than them because of superior strength. He wasn't stronger because of alien power. He was winning because his movements were perfect. Precise, efficient, instinctive. Humans evolved on a world full of predators. They learned to read danger in a heartbeat. They learned to adapt, to react, to survive. Leora had read about human history, the violence, the wars, the struggles. But she never imagined that history lived inside one man. Within seconds, all 6 assassins lay defeated on the broken crystal floor. The hall became silent again. The smoke settled. The alarms echoed in the distance, and the nobles stared at Elias with disbelief. One whisper cut through the silence. He fights like a god of war. Leora's chest tightened. She had never believed such things. She thought humans were peaceful creatures who avoided conflict. But Elias was proving the galaxy wrong. He turned to her finally, breathing slightly harder, but still calm. Are you hurt? He asked. Leora shook her head. No. But you. How did you do that? Human bodies are not. A second explosion thundered from outside. The palace shield failed. Enemy ships appeared in the sky. War horns echoed through the capital. The Corrin Syndicate was not alone. This was a coordinated attack. Leora's guards ran to her, panicked. Princess, we must move you to the safe chamber. But Leora didn't move. Her eyes stayed locked on Elias. She remembered the whispers. Humans break easily. Elias had not broken. He had shattered the enemy instead. She stepped toward him. Who are you really? She asked softly. Elias looked at her with eyes that had seen war long before today. A human, he said. And humans protect what matters. Before she could question him further, a voice boomed from the palace speakers. Enemy forces breaching the main gate. Princess, evacuate immediately. Leora's mind raced. Her people were under attack. Her marriage ceremony was ruined. Her planet was in danger. But her eyes stayed on the human who should have been fragile, yet stood stronger than anyone here. Elias extended his hand. Come with me. I'll get you out. She hesitated only 1 second. Then she placed her hand in his, the same warm, steady hand she had felt during the ceremony. But now it wasn't just warm. It was powerful, safe, unbreakable. As they ran through the burning hall, Leora whispered to herself, this human is not what he seems. And deep in the shadows above them, a hidden enemy watched with cold eyes. The human is dangerous, the figure growled. He must die before the galaxy learns what they really are. The palace shook again as Elias pulled Princess Leora through the burning hallway. Alarms screamed. Walls cracked. Smoke curled across the ceiling like black serpents. The bright royal palace, once filled with music and celebration, had turned into a battlefield. Leora's lungs burned as she ran, but Elias didn't slow down. He moved with purpose, with certainty, like he had survived places far worse than this. Elias, she gasped, the attackers. They knew the palace layout. This was planned. I know, he said simply. His voice was calm, too calm for a man running through fire. They turned a corner just as the ceiling behind them collapsed. The The flames roared up like a beast trying to swallow them whole. Leora stumbled, coughing hard. Her legs trembled. Elias stopped instantly and turned to her. "Are you all right?" he asked, scanning her face for injuries. "I'm fine," she lied. He didn't argue. He simply lifted her into his arms like she weighed nothing. "Elias, put me down. I can run. You can," he agreed. "But I'm faster." Before she could respond, he sprinted through the smoke-filled corridor. She held tightly to his uniform, shocked by his strength. Most alien species were stronger than humans. That was a universal fact. But Elias was not like most humans. He ran through falling debris with speed she had only seen in elite soldiers, the kind genetically enhanced by science. But humans didn't have those enhancements. How? Her thoughts broke when they reached a massive iron door. The safe chamber. Her backup guards should have been here. They weren't. Leora's stomach twisted. Something was wrong. Elias placed her down carefully. "Stay behind me," he said again, the same words he had spoken at the ceremony, the same tone that made her freeze without thinking. He pushed open the door. Bodies lay inside, her guards, her advisors, all dead. Leora covered her mouth to stop a scream. Elias scanned the room quickly, jaw tightening. This wasn't a normal attack. This was an execution. Then a soft beep. A laser sight appeared on the wall, pointing directly at Leora. "Down!" Elias shouted. He grabbed her and rolled behind a fallen metal table as plasma shots ripped through the air. The table melted into glowing liquid. Leora's heart pounded. The attackers had found them again. A figure stepped through the smoke with heavy steps. Tall, armored, with glowing red eyes. A Kharan elite commander, far stronger and deadlier than the assassins from the hall. He carried a weapon the size of a human child, humming with dark energy. His voice boomed. "Princess Vanir, your empire dies tonight." Elias slowly stood between her and the commander. "No," he said. "This ends here." The commander laughed, a deep, rumbling sound. "Human, you killed 6 of my warriors. Impressive." For a fragile creature, he pointed his weapon at Elias. "You will die first." Leora tried to step forward. "Wait, he is my Elias," raised a hand, stopping her. He didn't look back, but his silent message was clear. "Trust me." The commander fired. A blast of plasma shot through the air, a bright blue beam of death. Elias dodged left. Barely. The floor exploded behind him. The commander's armor whirred with power. "You move well, but you cannot escape every shot." Elias didn't respond with words. He responded by charging forward. "Elias, no," Leora cried. But he didn't stop. He didn't slow. The commander fired again and again. Plasma streaks cut through the air, but Elias weaved between them with impossible precision. Not luck, not chance, training, instinct, survival. He jumped, slid, rolled, and closed the distance. The commander swung his massive arm. Elias ducked under it and slammed his fist into the alien's ribs. The sound cracked like thunder. The commander stumbled back in shock. You hit like a beast." The alien roared. Elias didn't give him time to reset. He moved with cold focus, striking the alien's joints, weak spots, sensitive armor plates. He fought like someone who had studied 1,000 enemies, like someone who learned to survive from birth. Leora's breath caught as she watched. He was magnificent, terrifying, unstoppable, humanity in motion. But the commander was stronger, bigger, heavier. He roared and caught Elias by the throat, lifting him off the ground. Leora screamed, "Elias!" The commander squeezed tighter. "Humans are nothing," he growled. "Weak bodies. Soft bones. No claws. No armor." Elias struggled, but he couldn't break free. The commander lifted his weapon toward Leora. When he dies, you're next. Leora stepped forward, hands shaking. Stop, please. Elias's eyes flashed. Not fear, not pain, determination. He grabbed the alien's metal wrist with both hands and twisted with every ounce of strength. Something cracked. The commander howled as Elias broke his armored wrist, something no human should be able to do. Elias dropped to the floor, gasping, but he didn't waste a second. He swept the alien's legs, drove his elbow into its throat, and grabbed the fallen plasma gun. The commander reached for him, too late. Elias fired once. A perfect shot. The alien collapsed. Silence filled the chamber. Leora stared at Elias, stunned beyond words. He had just killed a creature twice his size, a monster feared across the galaxy using pure skill and unbreakable will. Elias slowly picked himself up, chest rising with heavy breaths. His neck was bruised, blood on his lips, but his eyes were steady. Leora, he said softly. We have to move. She didn't move. She couldn't. Elias, she whispered, voice trembling. What are you? He walked toward her, stopping just inches away. I told you, he said calmly. I'm human, but humans cannot fight like you. His expression shifted, a quiet emotion hidden behind strength. Princess, you don't understand humans yet. He leaned closer. When humans protect someone, we become something else. Before she could ask more, the lights flickered again. The palace intercom crackled with a chilling message. All units, retreat. The human is more dangerous than expected. Send the dreadnought. Leora froze. They were sending a warship. For one human, Elias looked toward the ceiling, jaw tightening. They're afraid, he said softly. Good. He grabbed Leora's hand. This isn't over, but I'll keep you safe, even if I have to fight the entire galaxy. And in that moment, Leora believed him. The sky above the palace turned black, not from smoke, not from nightfall, from the dreadnought, a massive warship shaped like a floating mountain, blocking out the light. Its shadow covered the entire capital city like a dark omen. Princess Leora felt her heart drop. That ship could destroy a whole continent, she whispered. Elias didn't look away from the sky. They're not here for your empire, he said quietly. They're here for me. The idea felt insane, impossible. Why would a galactic assassin syndicate send their strongest warship for one human? Then Leora looked at Elias again, really looked at him, his bruised neck, his steady eyes, his calm breath, his posture that never bent even under deadly pressure. She realized something terrifying and beautiful. Maybe a dreadnought wasn't enough. The dreadnought activated its weapons, red lights glowing across its surface. People screamed and ran through the streets. Sirens wailed. Fighters launched into the sky, but were destroyed instantly by its shields. The Vanir Empire, a civilization thousands of years old, was helpless. Leora felt fear crawl up her spine. Elias placed a hand on her shoulder. Don't be afraid. She looked at him with desperate eyes. Aren't you afraid? He shook his head slowly. Humans knew fear, but Elias, he carried it differently. He carried it with strength. Humans don't run from monsters, he said. We hunt them. A hologram flickered in front of them, a tall alien in dark armor with cold yellow eyes. He spoke with a deep, metallic voice. Human Elias Ward, we know what you are. You are a threat to the balance of the galaxy. Surrender now, and we will spare the princess. Elias stepped in front of Leora. And if I don't? The commander smiled. Then your species will pay for your existence. Leora's blood ran cold. Stop. He has done nothing to silence. Princess, the commander snapped. Your marriage was our warning. Your empire is now our example. The hologram vanished. Elias turned to Leora. We have one chance. I need access to the palace command room. She blinked. "You can't fight a dreadnought. Even our best warriors, I don't need to fight it," he said. "I need to board it." Leora stared at him like he had gone mad. "You want to go inside that monster, Elias? That's suicide." He smiled softly. That quiet human smile, she now knew, meant danger for the enemy. "It's only suicide if I fail." As they reached the command room, Leora grabbed his hand. "Before we do this, tell me the truth. Who trained you? What are humans really capable of?" Elias stopped walking. Smoke drifted in the background. The city burned. The dreadnought descended lower. He turned to her. "Leora, humans were not always the weakest species." Her breath hitched. "We evolved on a world full of danger. Burning deserts, frozen mountains, beasts with teeth bigger than our bodies, poison, storms, disease, constant war, constant struggle." He took a slow breath. "We survived hell, and we learned to fight anyone who tried to take what we loved." Leora stepped closer. "That's why you fought like that." "That's why all humans can," he said, quietly, under pressure. "Humans evolve faster than any species in the galaxy. Fear does not break us. It activates us." Leora's eyes widened. "So that's why the assassins were afraid of you." Elias nodded. "To them, humans are unpredictable. We grow stronger the moment we should fall." He placed her hand against his chest. "And when humans protect someone, we become something the galaxy does not understand." Leora felt his heartbeat strong, steady, endless. For a moment, she forgot the war outside. She forgot the dreadnought. She forgot the danger. She only saw him, this impossible human who risked everything for her. The dreadnought opened fire. A massive beam shot toward the palace, bright enough to blind. Leora screamed. Elias reacted instantly. He grabbed her, flipped a heavy shield table, and the beam exploded against it with a deafening roar. Half the command room disintegrated. Elias didn't waste a second. Leora opened the emergency launch tunnel. She sprinted to the control panel and slammed her hand on the scanner. A hidden platform rose from the floor, a small escape ship used only by royalty. Elias pulled her inside. "You're coming with me," he said. Her eyes widened. "What? Humans don't board dreadnoughts, even Vanir warriors." "I'm not doing this as a soldier," Elias said. He reached out and touched her cheek. "I'm doing this because you matter." Her heart almost stopped. "Elias." He leaned his forehead gently against hers. "Stay close to me." No matter what happens, the ship launched upward with a violent burst of speed. The dreadnought fired missiles at them, but Elias flew the ship like he had been born in the sky. He rolled, dodged, weaved through explosions with impossible precision. "Humans don't fly like this," Leora shouted, clinging to him. He smirked. "Humans do a lot of things the galaxy doesn't expect." The ship slammed into the dreadnought's outer hull. Metal screamed as they drilled into the surface. Elias kicked open the escape hatch. "Stay behind me," he said again, and this time Leora obeyed without fear. Dozens of soldiers waited for them inside the corridor, massive, armored, armed with weapons that could melt steel. One pointed at Elias. "Kill the human." Elias cracked his knuckles. "I'd like to see you try." What followed wasn't a battle. It was a message. A message from humanity. Elias charged forward, fighting with a fury Leora had never witnessed. He disarmed soldiers with perfect strikes. He broke weapons against his knee. He slammed enemies into walls so hard the metal dented. He moved through the corridor like a force of nature, not a man. The soldiers started screaming. "What is he? He's just a human. He's not supposed to be this strong." Leora watched with awe and terror. He was fighting an entire army. For her, Elias kicked down the final door, entering the dreadnought's command bridge. The commander stood there, the same armored alien from the hologram, but now his expression had changed. He was afraid. You humans are not supposed to be like this. Elias stepped forward. She had left us alone. The commander lifted his cannon. Elias grabbed the barrel and bent it like soft clay. The commander stumbled backward in pure fear. No, stay back. Humans were supposed to be weak. Elias looked him in the eyes. Humans are only weak when they have nothing to protect. He lifted the commander with one hand and threw him across the bridge. The alien crashed into a power core. The dreadnought shook violently. Systems failed. Engines exploded. The ship began falling toward the planet. Leora grabbed Elias' arm. We have to go. He pulled her close. I'm right here. They sprinted back to the escape ship as the dreadnought broke apart around them. Elias shoved her inside, jumped after her, and launched the ship out just seconds before the dreadnought crashed into the ocean, exploding. In a blinding light that lit up the entire sky, the warship was gone. Silence followed. Their escape ship landed in the royal gardens, now covered in dust and debris. Leora stepped toward Elias, tears in her eyes. You saved my life. You saved my people. Us. You saved everything. Elias wiped blood from his lip and gave her a tired smile. Humans don't give up. Not when someone needs us. Leora touched his hand. You married me for peace. But you fought like a god for me. Elias looked into her eyes softly. No, he said. I fought like a human. Leora's heart melted. In that moment, she realized the truth. Humans were not weak. They were the strongest species in the galaxy because they fought with their hearts, not just their bodies. And she had married the strongest of them all. If you believe humans fight hardest for the ones they love, then like the video, subscribe, and share this story with someone who needs strength today.